What up, what up, what up? This is your boy Agree to Disagree. I'm coming at you with some more content from the Sneeko and Rollo Tomassi debate. I'm not going to bellinger the moment. Let's get right into it.
Male shit. Isn't that what you do?
Your
So you
name
should
is
know,
the
like, what a
rational male.
Yeah, a high value woman is.
I don't talk about high value women, dude. I keep, in fact, if anything, I say there's no such thing as a quality woman because it's an ideal that guys have in their heads.
There's no such thing as a quality woman.
No such thing as a quality woman because guys have this. The quality woman is an ideal, but we can talk about that when I get there. But the thing is this is like when you're building a relationship or when you have this idea in your head. You want to know why guys get into so much fucking trouble in their marriages? It's because of that ideal. Because every guy who ever got married thought that she was the best fucking thing in the world. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got married to her. And then until he gets across the divorce table from her, now she's a fucking evil monster.
That's woman.
This man Rollo is wild, man. And look, bro, this is exactly how a lot of these gurus and coaches get away with saying dumb shit. Because what they'll do is they'll say something that's completely outlandish and then follow it up with some true shit. Because the point he made about, you know, having this ideal of a woman in your head, basically fantasizing women, that part is true. If you fantasize women and you have this idealistic view on women, then you're almost guaranteed to go into that relationship disappointment. But you can say that same thing about women. Women go around fantasizing marriage, and that's how a lot of marriages end up failing, because people have this romanticized idea of what marriage is, and marriage is a lot of hard work and duty. Just because men have unrealistic expectations of women doesn't mean that there's no such thing as a quality woman. I can agree to the idea that there's no such thing as a perfect woman, sure. But to say that there's no such thing as a quality woman is wild.
You genuinely don't think that there's quality women in the world?
I think that there are women who have different attributes than others that match very well with guys. Sure, there are good clicks, of course. But the thing is like the idea of the quality woman is an ideal that guys have that gets them into a lot of trouble. That's why they're in love with the ideal, not the actual person.
There are high value men, but there aren't high value women.
I'm not saying that I said there aren't high value men and there aren't high value women. Okay, it just depends on who we're talking about.
I don't know.
So now after all this talk about high value men, they don't exist either. Okay.
What the hell he's talking about, bro?
In the
Like, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
I get what he's saying, but
I feel like I need to do mushrooms before I come on the show. That's what it feels like, the kind of conversation we're having right now.
No, you know what it is, Destiny, is you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why.
On any of this, and I'm surprised because you write about this all the time. You wrote a whole book about it. People that really respected, and I have no idea.
You guys might be confused because I'm the one that says there's no such thing as a high value woman. A woman that's a woman gets her value directly from a man that she gets in a relationship with, because all women have value. But not all men have value.
All women don't have.
All right, so I have to disagree there. I don't believe that women get their value from a man because she had to have value in the first place in order to get that high value man. The guy didn't just get with her just to get with her. He got with her because she had value to begin with. But what I will say about this is, because men tend to share their resources and they are providers, they're more likely to elevate a woman's lifestyle and give them status. All right, let's just look at Aisha Curry or Savannah James, for example. I think that most people would consider them high value women, but they didn't have to work some high-end paying job to get to that status. But they were able to obtain those high value men because they were women of quality. If they weren't women of quality, they would have been replaced a long time ago. We see it all the time where men get wealth and status and they just leave their women in the dust and just go mess with all these other hoochies. But I will say the one difference is, if LeBron James broke up with Savannah James, there's going to be 10 more Savannah James waiting in line to get with LeBron. But there's not going to be 10 more LeBron James waiting in line to get with Savannah James.
Women don't have the same value.
Well,
don't even think about it. You know that's not true. If I give you a woman with 100 bodies and a woman with 0 bodies, if I give you one that's 500 pounds, if I give you one with 5 kids, so
here's
yeah.
my thing. Okay, here's my thing, because I've said this before.
I know men must become and women are. I know you're about to do this speech.
No,
but I'm just saying there are some women that are better than others.
I wasn't going to say that. Of course. But all women have value to some level, but not all men have value because men have to build their shit up. So what I'm saying is that a high value woman
That's not even true.
A high value woman gets her value from being with a high value man.
I don't even think that's true. All men have value to some extent.
The metric of success for a female is being able to get the best man that they can get.
I get what Myron is saying to an extent. We can't use the same definition that we use for a high value man also for a high value woman, because we just judge women and men differently in our society. Women can be feminine, nurturing housewives and be loved and accepted by society. Women can also be strong, independent boss babes and be loved and accepted by society. Society accepts and loves all different types of women, but when it comes to men, they only seem to love and accept men who are providers, protectors, and leaders. There's only one way to be a quality good man, but there's all different kind of ways to be a quality good woman.
And men can build and do things. In places like China, where you're limited to the amount of children, what do? They opt for boys because they can go out and work and fucking get jobs and shit and do things around the fucking house or whatever, right?
Yeah, the fucking 1980s. The one child policy hasn't been around since the mid 90s, dude.
Sure, and it was grossly favoring the birth of boys because you could do more with boys than you could with women. Just the idea that like
at least that was the perception until now they're facing the consequences of that.
Well, so is Japan. That's a super homogenous.
That's one situation. Like, okay, you're using China, but let's be honest here. Why does it say women and children off the boat first, not men? Women have always had. No, yeah, it's a chivalry thing, but why is that? Because if you have 100 women and one guy, you can still continue society. But if you have 100 men and one woman, we're fucked.
Women are the vulnerable sex and men are the disposable sex. That's why.
Women have value inherently. So what I'm saying is this: since every woman has value, for a woman to be high value, she's got to be able to lock down a high value guy. There's a reason why women take a man's last name and not the other way around. Women, when they meet each other and hug, the first thing they ask typically is, "Oh, do you have a man? Do you have a relationship? Tell me about your kids, etc." When two men meet, what do? Shake hands. What do you do for a living? Men are judged on creating value. Women are judged on creating children, typically.
I actually agree with a lot of what Myron is saying here, because it's men who go to war. It's men who are on the front lines, and it's men who build society. Men have value in society for as long as they can provide a use. There's a reason why 90% of homelessness are men. We have all kind of government assistance and aid to help women, but when it comes to men, we got to lift ourselves up by our bootstrap. We can't hope that some high value woman comes out of nowhere, sweeps us off our feet, and takes us out the hood. Half the time, even if a man gets a woman of wealth, he still expects that man to be able to provide. But there's reasons like that why phrases like high value woman just won't work. In terms of the dating market, a woman's value does not increase with her accolades and success. Men just don't value those kind of things when it comes to women. If you had to choose between dating Lizzo with all her accolades and success or a dime piece working at Walmart, I already know who you gonna pick. I know a couple of girls working at the register right now that I would date over Lizzo, but most women aren't gonna pick the good looking guy who's working at the register versus the fat guy with a whole lot of money. It don't matter how good you look, fellas, DJ Khaled is still pulling better hoes than you. So there's definitely good quality women, but I wouldn't say there's a high value woman because it's not tangible. A high value man is more specific, it's more defined. When it comes to the spectrum of what a high value woman is, it's too broad. You got a woman like Savannah James who was able to pull a top tier high value man, and all she brought was herself to the table. And then you have women like Beyonce who has success and accolades and millions of dollars, and she was able to pull a high value man like Jay-Z. I think the best way to kind of explain it is because women are hypergamous and tend to date up, and because men are more likely to date down. That's the real reason why there's a term for a high value man and there's not a term for a high value woman. When you have 80% of women looking to date the top 20% of men, that creates a huge imbalance in the dating market. And so because of the high demand for those men, that's what makes them high value. But you don't see that same kind of demand for a beautiful woman or a woman with a good heart, because those women are all over the place, right? There's a dime piece somewhere in my neighborhood, but you won't find a high value man just anywhere. Those guys are rare and hard to find. But that's all I have to say on this subject. You guys let me know what points you agreed with, what points you disagree with. You guys let me know, is there such thing as a quality woman? Is there such thing as a high value woman? You guys let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.